Hey guys, it's Gilberto. And today I really want to speak to you how I was able to reprogram my mind for success, to really brainwash myself for success. And I want to start actually essentially telling you a story of one of my students. He was in the call with me the other day, like a week ago. Oh, not even less than that, it was like 3 days ago actually. And he joined my program trying to become a media buyer essentially. And he was telling me all these negative beliefs that he have about business, money, success, and all the kind of stuff. And I realized how the mindset really is what makes people different. It's not information, because the information nowadays you can get everything for free, or mostly for free from the internet. And so what really changed is the application of this information. And that was really for me what, made me click, was that right? That's his problem. It's not the fact that he's lacking media buying skills, the fact that he's lacking in the mindset, right? And by the way, if you guys don't know me, my name is Gilberto. I make over 6 figures per year working as a media buyer. And essentially my intent with those videos is to help you do the same. So you can actually, potentially join the mentorship later on if you want, or just become a media buyer and live the life that you probably deserve, to be honest with you. Because, also for me now in a beautiful villa in Bali, it was not always like that, right? But coming back to my student, so we were having our weekly call. It's like a one-on-one call where I just go through essentially some stuff, understand what it is like in the journey, and try to help me out with the next step essentially. And he joined like almost a month ago at this point, but he was very busy, wasn't really able to get all the course essentially through. And finally was the other day, and so he texted me, was like, hey, can we have a call? Can we go through some stuff? I was like, sure. And immediately I realized that his concern, his problems, all the objections that he had, they were not related to the information in the program, they were related to the belief system that he has. Because I kid you not, how important it is to have the right belief system in place, literally. Because again, I could give you all the right information, I could tell you exactly what to do, I could come to you and say, do exactly this, but you might not do it. You might not do it because your belief system is wrong. And this is why, for example, when people join to mentorship or they want to create their business online or any business, anything really in life, some people have success whereas others don't. It's not the level of information that is different in most cases, it's the application, it's the mindset, because the two are correlated, right? And so in front of me now, just like a whiteboard, I kind of want to explain a little bit how you can reprogram your subconscious brain to success, because this was, in my opinion, the most important thing that I personally have done in order to actually get to where I am today. So the first thing you have to realize is that you have two minds, you can say. You have two brains, okay? So imagine this is your brain. You have two different sections. And all this information I didn't come up with, I want to be very honest. I took it from different books, different seminars, different courses and stuff like that. So all I'm doing here is just condense everything into like a small YouTube video, which hopefully you can watch in like 10, 20 minutes time and get as much information as you can, because this stuff really saves life. Like this stuff really is the missing puzzle in so many scenarios. Again, it's not the lack of information, it's the lack of application, which is caused by a poor mindset, a poor belief system. And so, like I said, you have to image the brain like this, okay? Two different sections. We have the conscious brain, which is the top part, right here. So the conscious brain is essentially you, right? Is the critical part of you. It's the one that thinks, the one that makes essentially all the mathematical decision, right? So if I look, for example, at this cup, I'm like, okay, this cup is black, it looks like this. Or I might say to myself, okay, I want another cup because this is empty. That's my rational mind essentially communicate. That's what you believe to be you. But there is a trick part, and the trick part is that the rational mind really operates just during about 10%, I would say, of the day. The other 90% really is done by the subconscious mind. And you may go, oh, okay, Gilberto, like, what are you talking about? 2 minds, 10, 90, what's this? Well, stick with me for a second, okay? When you drive your car, when you brush your teeth, when you cook yourself some delicious eggs for breakfast, do you actually consciously pay attention to those things? Or it's just essentially your body or like someone else essentially doing all those things? Because if it's the latter, so if someone else doing those things, who is that person? Because it's still you, but you just don't consciously think about those things. They just come automatic, like almost habit, right? And so who is this person? Well, it's still you, it's just a different you. It's not the you, the rational mind, it's you, the subconscious mind. And that's really where we as human beings operate 80 to 90% of the time during the day. We are not in our critical thinking, we are not in our rational mind, we are in our subconscious brain, right? And the subconscious brain essentially has been programmed ever since you were a child. Your subconscious brain has been stuck layer after layer after layer after layer of belief systems, of habits, right? That essentially they also made you. Which is why, for example, one of your belief system might be that money is evil. That was one of my belief system. I thought that people that make a lot of money, they were all evil. Like you had to do something that was bad in order to make money because good people are humble and poor. That was my belief system. Completely fucked up, but that was my belief system. Another of my belief system, for example, was that it was impossible for a 20-year-old kid to make 10, 15K per month because it was like, okay, that's not possible, right? Just mathematically not possible. My parents are making like $2,000 per month, whatever. How me, a 20-year-old, can make like 5, 10 times what they make is just not possible, right? Or another belief system was that all this like money online stuff, it's bullshit, right? It's garbage. It's not true. It's just people trying to scam you. And so this is all belief system that, for a part, I have created myself, me, Gilberto. I condition my subconscious brain essentially through repetition because that's how it works. Through repetition, you condition your subconscious brain to pick up a certain belief system. And so I condition myself to believe some things. Or was someone else actually condition me through repetition, for example, in my young age, my parents, the school, the television, the media, to believe a certain way, to believe certain things, right? And that's where really most of the people got it fucked up. It's not what they believe to be true because they told themselves, because these actually are usually quite easy to move away from, right? Because they're brand new. You have to imagine like those belief system is like, I don't know what to say, man. It's like imagine like a bag, a basket or whatever, something like that. And then you're like some tennis ball, right? So you fill all this like basket with tennis ball. Well, it's very easy to take away the one at the top, right? And just eliminate them because they are at the top, right? And so that's your new belief system. This is something that, for example, you told yourself 3-4 years ago, right? And because this belief system is new, it's quite easy to get rid of that. And if you're like between the age of 20, 25, like I am, then most of your belief system really was not implanted by yourself, was implanted by someone else. Because at that age, like when you're a kid or even when you're a young teen, you really don't have a lot of belief system. You just listen to what other people are telling you, and you just kind of believe that, right? Because, oh, well, they're my parents, or well, that's my school, or that's my country, that's my media, whatever, right? You just believe that because, well, that's what you get told, right? And so those tennis balls, they are at the very bottom of the basket, right? So they're quite hard to kind of like pull out because, again, you have to put your hands in the basket, you have to take the ball, it's hard, right? It's not easy as just like take the one at the top and just move them. And so that's what I figure that most people really have a problem with, is not the new belief system that they have, is the old one, the one that was implanted by their parents, family, school, and all that kind of stuff. And this can be detrimental for your success, and this can be detrimental for you as a person. Because if you're operating on a false belief system, on something that is wrong for you, and you keep doing it over time, how will you ever get success? It's impossible. How do you want to have money if you're thinking that making money online is a scam? How do you want to make money if you think that, for example, making 10K per month as a 20-year-old is impossible? How can you make money if you think that all the people that make money are evil, that money is dirty, right? How can you make money like that? It's like you wanted to have something, which is your rational brain telling you, I want money, right? That's your rational brain right here, says, I want money. And then there is your subconscious brain that says, nope, because we have all this belief system, because making money is bad, because we are good people, we're not bad people, so we cannot do that. And so guess what? Because this is 90 and this is 10, this is always gonna win. 100% of the time, the subconscious is gonna win over the conscious. And this is why you don't have the results that you want. It's not because of lack of information, it's because of lack of application, which comes from a bad mindset, a bad belief system. And so the one thing they have to do here is to change your belief system. Otherwise, you're never gonna get success, just not possible. This is much stronger than this one, period. I tried, didn't work. The only thing you can do is to change your mindset, because by changing your mindset and your belief system, then your actions are gonna change. Imagine now that, for example, you actually believe that making money is good, that people that make money can help other people, and so that's actually a very nice act to do. Imagine that for you, it's normal to see other people that are 20 years old making 10, 20, 30K per month. So, like when you're gonna try to do yourself, it's like, yeah, it's perfectly fine, I can do it. I mean, everyone do it, seems pretty normal to me, right? And that's also where your environment really plays like a huge impact, because if you surround yourself with people that already essentially have what you want, which is, again, in this case can be the 10K month, 8K month, this can be like the physique of your dream, this can be the best relationship ever, this can be the best relationship with God, with like it doesn't matter. If you surround yourself with people that have what you want, automatically your subconscious brain start picking up on those things, because that's all it sees, And through repetition, like I said earlier, it becomes a habit, it becomes normal. And therefore, it gets implemented into your belief system. And so you change essentially your belief system. That's how you do it. So number one is environment. Number two is repetition and visualization. Now, we can make a small test together, right? Let's close your eyes for like 10 seconds, okay? Close your eyes. I'm gonna close it with you. You close your eyes. You have like a knife on your left side, right? On your left hand. You have a lemon on your right hand. And there is a beautiful white table in front of you, okay? Now you take the lemon, you put it on the table, you take the knife with the left hand, and you just cut the lemon in two. Now you have 2 slices of a lemon. Now you take 1 slice of the lemon, you open your mouth, you put the lemon in your mouth and you squish it. And I want you to feel all the sour juice essentially going down your throat and really imagine that, really feeling that. Now, if you have done this correctly, now you can open your eyes again, by the way. If you have done this correctly, you start salivating. You have noticed that your body starts salivating. And why? Well, it's because the brain can't tell the difference between a fake image and a real image. It cannot. An image is an image. And if you go down the rabbit hole of like the esoteric with Trismegistus and the God Thought and the Emerald Tablet, you will know what I want to speak about, the Hermetic rules. But let's stick to like making money. Essentially, your brain can't tell the difference. It cannot. So you can brainwash yourself into feeling and wanting the achievement that you don't have yet. And that's how essentially repetition comes into play. Because if you repeat a specific image with a specific feeling, that's where people get it wrong. Be careful, is that people just imagine, like when they say manifestation, visualization, people just imagine, yeah, I imagine myself even a Lamborghini. But then deep down, they don't believe that. And say, guess what? It's not going to happen because your brain is not going to pick up on that. The subconscious brain picks up through repetition and feelings. That's how it really picks up, right? So if you imagine something, you also have to perceive and feel as if you were there, essentially, as if whatever you're feeling right now, it's already true. So once again, you imagine something, okay? This is like a cloud of a person that is imagining something. Then you feeling that thing, and then you just repeat the whole process, okay? I'm just gonna do like an infinite symbol like that, okay? This is the 3-step formula. Imagine, feeling the imagination, essentially, feeling whatever you're perceiving, and repeating day after day after day after day. Why? Because this is the only way, really, that you have to change your subconscious brain beside changing your environment. But that's something that you have to do physically. Many of you maybe cannot do that, right? Maybe you just stuck at home with your parents, or they just live in a small town. So what can you do? You can't physically change your environment, right? I mean, you can virtually by, for example, just following on YouTube people that hear about how they made money, just following Instagram people that you hear how they have these amazing physique or whatever you want to achieve. So virtually you can do that, but maybe physically you still lock in the same town or whatever that you are. And so you have to essentially use those little tricks to kind of help you out, because that's what helped me out back then when I was like 19, 20. I didn't have a single cent essentially in my bank account. I was imagining, I was writing down essentially whatever I was imagining. So I was like, I'm so grateful and happy to make 8K per month, whatever. And the reason why I was using the grateful and happy is because it's a very high vibration frequency. Again, I know it sounds voodoo shit, like la 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 land, but those things works. Like this is literally like the manifestation of it, right? So I was taking a pen, I was taking a little book, and I was just writing essentially how I feel and what I wanted to get. So I was like, I'm very grateful that I'm making 5K a month, 6K a month, 7K a month. However, as I was writing those things, I was believing that those things were true. So I was not writing, I'm very grateful that I'm making 1 million a month, because I would not have believed that. Like, virtually impossible for me to believe that. Even now, if I write like on a piece of paper, I'm so happy that I make 1 million per month, I will just not believe that. I would probably believe it more compared to like 3 years ago for sure, but I will not still be like 100% bought in the process. However, if I take a piece of paper now and I say, I'm so happy that I make, I don't know, $45,000 per month, I will believe that. I actually believe that I can do that, right? Why? It's because I came to a point now where I already have some sort of success, so I'm already making 10, 50K per month, so it's easier for me to project myself to 45 per month and truly believe that and truly have the feeling that I can. If you're brand new and you're broke, which is completely fine, what is fine is not to stay broke. That's the problem. If you're broke, it's fine. If you stay broke, it's not fine. So what you should do essentially, if you're broke, you should have a goal which is, it feels like doable for you, right? So let's say, for example, you're making like zero like cash right now. What about instead of doing like 10K per month, what about you make 3K per month? So you just take your pen and you write down, I'm so grateful that I'm making 3K per month, right? And you're feeling as you actually have those 3K per month. That sounds probably more achievable than me saying, write down that you make 100K per month, because you will not believe that. You will just, you will write it down, you're like, yeah, this is bullshit, not believe it. But if you write 3K per month, all of a sudden you believe them, right? And then as soon as you reach those 3K per month, then you can change your belief system, because now you have to go from a belief system of someone that makes 3K per month to the belief system of someone that makes, 7K per month, and then 15K per month, and then 25, and then 50, right? And so every time you can change essentially your belief system, and from there, you just grow and grow and grow and grow. But again, you need to do the repetition, because you need to eradicate all the bad beliefs that you have in your mind that are holding you back right now about money, this and that, and make the new ones, essentially implement the new ones, which are going to be the one that actually help you to achieve what you want. All right? So this video is already quite long, so I'm just going to end it right here with like a few actual steps of what I actually have to do. All right? So take a notebook or something. Like, it has to be paper, okay? I don't want you to type on the computer. Paper, because when you manually write with a pen, it's completely different than me typing on the computer, because you actually create like a neural pattern with the pen, okay? So you take like some piece of paper, like an op-ed, whatever, and you write in the first page all the bad belief system that you want to change, okay? So you list, for example, I will say to start with probably like 5, okay? Because otherwise it gets so many. Start with 5. You list 5 bad belief systems that you know you have that are holding you back from getting what you want. And then in the next page, you write the new 5 belief systems, which are gonna take over the old one. Because one important thing here is that you cannot eliminate a belief system. You can just substitute a belief system. Is that the right word? English is not my mother tongue, but I think that's the right word, right? You can just change it, essentially. You cannot eliminate it, you can just change the belief system. So you can write the new 5 belief system that you want to have right here, okay? 1, 2, 3, and 5. And what you're gonna do here is that every day now, for the next 30 days, you're gonna write those belief systems. Ideally, you do it 3 times during the day. You do it as soon as you wake up, not like after an hour. As soon as you wake up. You do it after a big meal during the afternoon, so for example, lunch. Okay, this can be the second time. So maybe you wake up, let's say, at 7 in the morning. Okay, you're gonna do it 7 as soon as you wake up. You're gonna do it like 12, if that's where you have lunch after a big meal. And then you're gonna do it right before going to bed. So let's say you go to bed like at, 11, then around like 10:45, 10:50, 10:30, depends how much it takes you to go sleep. Then you're gonna write this new belief system, essentially, okay, once again. And as you write those things down, you truly have to imagine and feeling that you already have them. And I guarantee you, if you do this for 30 days, your whole personality, your whole belief system, everything is going to change. And finally, you're actually going to be able to get the results you want, which is essentially money, right? Because again, I guess with this video, what we want to do is money, but you can really do everything else. But money, I guess, is the goal here. That's it. That's what is working for me. That's what worked for my students. That's what I know has worked for millions of people worldwide in the past. Like if you look any books about like psychology or esoteric book or whatever, like this is really how you quote unquote manifest. I don't like to use that word because I'm just being overused and now it's meaningless essentially, but that's essentially how it works, okay? It comes down to this, changing your belief system. And as long as you have like a shit bucket of a belief system that hold you back, you just cannot have success with what you want, especially if they're like, contraposing like your own goal. So guys, this was the video. Hopefully you find it helpful. Make sure to watch it maybe a couple of times just so you really digest all the information, because I understand quite a bit. And see you in the next one.